Hello and welcome to Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. Happy 4th of July. What a great holiday for us Americans. If you're not, I'm hoping you appreciate the holiday and what's going on. Very important here in the States. The show is presented by Rhino.co. It's Rhino.co, and you can find it. It's an online classified for cars, racing equipment, race cars, exotic cars, classic cars. It's all there. Check them out. It's ryno.co. Michele, welcome to the show, and hope you had a great 4th of July weekend.
Bonjour. I did. I actually did have a great weekend and got to see one of the best formula races I think that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And what really pleases me is now we've got 3 manufacturers that are actually competitive. And that means at least 6 cars. Gone is the domination of one manufacturer. This is an anybody might be able to win type of situation as they continue to develop these cars as best they can. It had it all. It had rain. It had poor Zhu Ganyu on the start of the race. I mean, that was a frightening crash where he tipped into Russell and then up on his head, across the gravel on his head, hits the top, flips over into the retaining wall. You could see the people scattering and running, and then he's trapped between that retaining wall, and it was a very scary moment. We're all glad to see that, which is actually pronounced Zhou Ganyu, but nonetheless, Zhu works fine. Glad to see he was okay and he walked away, but that was just precautionary.
Yeah, agreed.
But he's fine.
But
that's
very
good.
Scary moment, no doubt. The start of that race ended up with a red flag. We did have some great racing going on this weekend with the F1 race, Cup guys at Road America, Xfinity. IMSA was racing in Canada. You had the IndyCar guys racing at Mid-Ohio. You had the SRX. So we're going to get into all that. But right now, I want to say congratulations to Carlos Sainz because he got his first victory, man. What a cool deal for this guy. And listen, he did it on his own. Like there were some team orders early where he said, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. But then he gave up the position to Charles Leclerc, his teammate. But when he came back and after all the pit stops, guess what happens? He's got a fast car and he's able to get some stuff done. And he said, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going for this.
He did. He went completely rogue on him and just went for it. And I don't blame the guy one bit. Ferrari doesn't care. Ferrari doesn't give a damn who wins the race as long as they're in a Ferrari. That's what counts to them. But, they came back with an excuse that they didn't want to double stack on the pitting. And that's why Leclerc ended up on the hard old tires and that Sainz got, the new tires. Whatever the case, I'm happy for Carlos Sainz. He deserves it. He's finally got his feet under him. He's come to grips with this new car. And I think that he will be a force to be reckoned with in the next few, as the season goes along. That's what I think.
Well, I'll give you the rundown on the results. The top 10, Carlos Sainz, as we mentioned, in that Ferrari getting the top spot of the podium. It was Sergio Perez in the Red Bull in the second spot. Third was Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes at his home race there. Congratulations to him. Well done. Yeah, there was some great battles going on all throughout this field. That's what was awesome about this.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc was 4th, Fernando Alonso 5th, Lando Norris 6th, Max Verstappen, who had some trouble late in the race, Mick Schumacher with the Haas guys 8th, Sebastian Vettel 9th, and Kevin Magnussen, another Haas car, in the points there. Congratulations to those guys, an American team, which was pretty cool to see. But great battles all throughout the field. I thought, again, like you mentioned, one of the best F1 races of the season so far.
Yeah, and congratulations, Schumacher. He got a real lesson being who was hamstrung by picking up Charles Leclerc's wing, and that dampened him. That did damage the performance of the car. But at least Mick Schumacher got to race against a really, really generationally magnificent driver in Verstappen. Let's hope that just transfers on to the next few races, because once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
And that I've just found that to be true.
Yeah, so real quick, does that help him with the team? Because there's been questions.
Oh,
Listen, he's
God,
wrecked
yeah.
a lot of cars. Does this help him state his case and stay on this team to move up and do some
It,
things in F1?
Rob, it was critical.
Yeah.
I mean, Steiner laid out the directive, buddy, you got to score some points or your seat's in jeopardy. So he did. He got the battle for Verstappen. That means that he learned. He learned a lot by doing. Literally complained that Verstappen was in his way. That's priceless.
That is priceless.
That's priceless.
That's great. All right, let's take a look at points right now. Max Verstappen still on top of the points in the battle for the driver's standings anyways at 181. Sergio Perez, his teammate, 147. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and then the teammates of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Then you have the McLaren with Lando Norris. Valtteri Bottas is sitting there. Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso round out the top 10 in points right now in that series. The one thing I wish they would do is tighten up these points a little bit so we can have a little bit more battles. Because like you said, really, the drivers, not so much. I mean, that's the big thing that we all chase, but the manufacturers and those guys, that's what they're really wanting. You know, that's their bread and butter right there.
Yeah, it depends on the team. Ferrari is the number one team for we don't give a crap who wins as long as you're in a Ferrari, period. Ferrari is a religion in Italy among the Tifosi. That's that. And, you know, if you don't believe that, they could care less. I mean, they made excuses for what happened in their strategy, and they do seem to keep stepping on their feet. But nonetheless, I'm so happy for Carlos Sainz. He deserved it. Through for him because when you win one time, you learn and you learn how to win, and that little bit, all the difference.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. All right, we're going to take a break here. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the NASCAR Xfinity race at Road America. So we got that coming up on there. And also, don't forget to check out our website, racedaynation.com, where you can see all these details, check out all the different shows that we have, because we have other podcasts as well on there, news from other series, all right there at your fingertips. So check it out again. It's racedaynation.com. For Michele, Rahal, and Rob D'Amico, we'll be back right after this. It's Race Day Nation. Welcome back to Race Day Nation, all brought to you by rhino.co. Check them out at their website, rhino.co. Don't forget that. Classifieds, classic cars, exotic cars, racing parts, you name it, it's all right there. Plus, they have the Racer Support Tour 2.0 that they're doing and giving away free money to these local racers, which is really cool. So check those guys out. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. RaceDayNation.com is our website. And he's pointing, were you pointing out your crow's feet? I don't know what you were doing there. Was it?
Man, screw the crow's feet. That's been going on for a long time.
I hear you, brother. I got him too.
Eagle's feet.
Yeah, they're talons now.
Feet.
All right, we were talking about before we went to break about the Xfinity
feet.
That's right. We were talking about the Xfinity series going to Road America. Great road racing. I love road racing. You know that if you've ever listened to our show decades ago with Race Day on Fox, that's one thing we always talk about. Give us more road racing in NASCAR, and we finally got there, and now it's trickled down to the Xfinity series, which is really nice. I love watching it, but it was the 19-year-old Ty Gibbs who won the 13th annual Henry 180, his 8th career victory, and it was his 4th victory and top 10. So congratulations to him. The kid definitely deserved it, back where he needs to be, because remember, this is a kid who's been causing, I don't want to say causing trouble, but kind of being very aggressive out there and going after these wins. Now he's kind of in that position where he's hoping to gain some of that back.
Do we know how many road races? I don't think he's won any road races.
No.
And I mean, that's where you learn. I mean, you know, if you're going to learn, that is the age that you need to start taking your cues. And to win a road race at Road America, I've been around that track several times. That's not an easy track to have to learn on, but he did. And you know, hats off to the kid. Can only grow from there because road racing teaches you.
And not only did he win, but he also battled Kyle Larson, who came down to the series to race in the Xfinity. That's right. And he got out of the car and said, I hope I gained some respect here because, he did do it clean. He beat him fair and square, and it was awesome to watch. So here's the results from that race. Like I was mentioning, it was Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, Josh Berry, Austin Hill, Brandon Jones, AJ Allmendinger. These guys, AJ Allmendinger, great road racer. Kyle Larson sitting there. You're in seventh place. Your buddy Riley Herbst sitting there. Noah Gragson was eighth. Jeremy Clemens, 9th, Ryan Sieg, 10th. So congratulations. It just shows that you can level the playing field a little bit when you're doing these road races stuff. And I really like it because it also changes up the points a little bit and gets some guys that are not normal. You're still laughing about the Herbst.
No, I'm laughing because thank you, God, that there were no names to pronounce. You're like Norm Crosby of the radio world.
Hey, give me a name and I can screw it up. No doubt about that. So let's look at the points. AJ Allmendinger with 634. Ty Gibbs moves up. He's only 9 points back now. And I think this is going to be the battle for that championship with the Ty Gibbs and AJ Allmendinger. Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Brandon Jones, Sam Mayer, Austin Hill, Riley Herbst, and Daniel Hemrick round out the top 10 in points. And real quick, I want to make mention again. What's that?
Herbies and the Himmies.
You just love that, man.
I love
these poor kids.
It's hilarious, man. What can I tell you? Comedy at all costs. Who gives a damn?
That's
Gotta
right.
Laugh at the human condition. I mean, who am I to laugh at anybody's name? Michele. I mean, everybody thinks that one's a riot.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. Talking about things that are funny. Some of the things that were not funny were Sage Karam and Noah Gragson. Those two got into it on track. Noah literally drives his car right into him and sends Sage around wrecking. They wrecked about, I don't know, I think it was like 13 cars that were involved in that one. So that little heated battle between two guys ended up taking out a lot of cars, which if I'm a team owner, that's pissing me off, right?
It's one thing if you're wrecking someone and nothing else, and you've got a clear track and nobody else is involved. But the moment that you take out other cars, that's inexcusable. That's one of those things where the team are looking at you going, you rotten little bastard. They are.
Well, I will say this, even Sage came out and says, talking about Noah walks around here like he's the big shot in town. Everybody, talks about Noah this, Noah that, but the guy's attitude seems to be a little off, and maybe not, you need to back it down a little bit. I'm all for characters. Listen, I love characters. I think there was a thing I saw on social media about talking about in the Cup Series. Everybody starts asking, who's the biggest character? Everybody says Kyle Busch, including Kyle Busch. He knows it, but he also knows when, hey, if I did something wrong, I'm going to own up to it. I'm going to say, hey, man. But these two, they went at it. One, Sage says, hey, he was wrecking me all day when there didn't need to be. And then Noah was saying, hey, he was getting into me. I just paid him back. But, that payback costs a lot of people some money.
That's what happens when you put fenders on these cars, dude. I mean, I've done a few sedan style races with Nissan and Honda, and it's like, okay, I can bump this dude now. I don't have open wheels. I'm not in the car, and you do it. I ran some guy off in the first turn at Road Atlanta, and it was like, ha ha ha. I'm laughing going all the way back up through the turns to the S's.
You gave him a good Dr. Evil on the way by.
Well, the bastard hit me on the caution lap.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Banging into me on the caution lap. Okay. Go past me. See what happens. And I let him by.
What turn was it at Road Atlanta?
Retribution.
What turn was it at Road Atlanta?
Turn one.
Right, so you sent him right off the straightaway.
I leaned right into him and shoved him right into the damn tire wall.
All right. So Michele Rahal is one of those problems we've talked about on the show before, the hot-headed, egotistical maniac.
I did it very craftily.
That's right.
Very craftily.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some road racing because now we're going to IMSA at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Yep. So we'll go head up there and talk about the IMSA guys, see who won. It's all coming up next right here on Race Day Nation. Welcome back to Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. Don't forget, check us out on our website, racedaynation.com. You can find our social outlets as well as Michele's. You can find on there. Plus, get the latest news and rumors from some of the other websites that we pull in through RSS feeds to make it simple for you guys. You got Racer Magazine, you got Motorsport, TobyChristie.com, just to name a few. Plus, you can get the podcast and all that stuff right there as well. The show is presented by Rhino.co. That's co, by the way. Don't go to .com. It's .co. So Rhino.co, you're going to get the classified for cars, classic cars, exotic cars, race cars, parts, all that great stuff. And I know, Michele, you and I are both looking for Porsches, so that's one of the places I'm going to go and start looking for these cars.
C4S. I'm trying to find a deal on a C4S I can modify myself, and I think that Rhino.co is the place to be.
All right. And real quick, we were talking about IMSA coming into this road racing up in Canada, but you wanted to talk about the pilot race real quick.
Yeah, Robert Wickens, back-to-back in the cars. Brilliant job. I mean, this guy, I don't think anybody ever wrote him off, but they didn't understand what the extent of his injuries were. And again, thank God, there were spinal injuries for sure. He can stand for about 20 seconds. He has feeling below the waist. Good for the ladies, thank God. And the guy can drive the hell out of a car. And he and Wilkins won back-to-back here. So congratulations to Wickens. It's just wonderful to see the guy back. It really is.
No doubt about that. So let's run down through the series here because we had 4 classes running. You had DPI, LMP3, the GT Pro or GTD Pro, and GTD. So we'll start with the DPI guys, and it was the 01 Cadillac racing with Render Zandavander, Vander Sanders, Sandavander.
Vanderzand.
I love saying that guy's name. And then you had also Sebastian Bourdais. Congratulations, getting the top spot there on that podium. With the Acura for Meyer Shank was there. Also the other Cadillac for Welling Engineering. So congratulations to all those guys getting the victory and well deserved. I mean, it was one of those sprint races for these guys. So a fun little race up in Canada. Yeah. You had the LMP3 guys. You had Core Autosport with Bennett and Colin Brown. So congratulations to them getting the top spot in their LMP3, which is really cool. Great looking cars, by the way. But I'm still a guy who likes those sports cars, man. If you can get into them in real life, I love seeing them on the track. So you had the
I like the prototypes, man. I'm digging them. I'm digging the, I'm digging the new style of GTD, which will become another formula
the old Cadillac,
at some point.
The ones we talked about last week.
That's a GTP, and that's next year. Prototypes, and you just mentioned LMP3. Well, the difference LMP3 and LMP2, faster car, but it's not an easier car to drive. The LMP3s are harder. Wheel brakes, they don't have the traction control in the same way that the LMP2 cars do, and they don't have the carbon fiber brakes. The LMP2 cars do. Those stop on a dime. The steel brakes, when you're using them in LMP3, it teaches you how to modulate the braking. I'm hoping LMP3 grows in your series so these guys can move up.
All right, let's take a look at the GTD Pro. I'm sorry, I think this is the Pro one here. Let's see. I don't seem to have it, unfortunately. Oh, that sucks. But it was the FAF guys here in the Porsche. Congratulations to those guys. Yeah. They won. I was hoping to have the graphics there for you, but I don't. But in GTD, the Aston Martin, congratulations to those guys of DeAngelis and Martin getting the win there in their Aston Martin. Again, cool-looking cars to me. These are the types of things I like to see out on the track, racing side by side, fender to fender. It's just because I know, these are things that guys can get into and do the same thing. And that's what GT D Pro and AM is for. So these guys, these amateurs can get in there and do. And when we see amateurs, they're not really amateurs. I mean, they got some skills behind the wheel.
Some are, but if we didn't have them, they're called gentleman drivers. You wouldn't have them.
Correct.
I mean, truly, they fund it. So it's that they have those levels. What's really going to be interesting for me is that next year you're going to have the new GT3R from Porsche, which just looks like a deadly vehicle. It just, what you're showing there is the new 963, the LMPH program. And that one is a Penske. That is a factory car. I expect great things from them, but also from Cadillac, which has taken a completely different aero tact. It looks like Cadillac. It looks like something back to the future. I mean, it just really, that's a stunning car. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that runs. They're going to have their hands full with Penske. He does nothing halfway. And the new 963 is a beautiful and functional car.
Yeah.
So I look forward to it.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk Cup racing. Again, more road racing at Road America. So stick around. For Michele Rahal, I'm Rob D'Amico. This is Race Day Nation. Welcome back. This is Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. The show is presented by Rhino.co. Don't forget, they also have the Racer Support Tour 2.0 going on right now, but check out all the details at Rhino.co. All right. You can also check us out on our website, racedaynation.com. Hey, Michele, where can they find you online?
Now, they can find me at Michele Rahal on Facebook, and that is MicheleRahal. And you won't have any trouble finding that name on Facebook. On Instagram, it's at Michele Rahal, Michele, and the number 9.
All right, you can find me at Rob D'Amico. It's ROBDAMICO on pretty much everything. So just remember how to spell the name, ROBDAMICO. I got my name right.
I'm just glad I'm glad you got your name right.
All right, let's go to Road America with the Cup guys, and congratulations goes out to Tyler Reddick, man. What a great job. His first career win in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
And well-deserved, man. With RCR, that team just spectacular right now. But what that does, though, is it gives him now now that he's in the playoffs, his teammate Austin Dillon now sitting on the outside going, now I need to start performing here. This kid's starting to do some things, and I need to get on it. By the way, I don't know if you saw it. They were promoting the hell out of it, the new Austin Dillon show on USA. It's kind of a reality show. It's almost like I do like it, okay? But it has a little bit like the Chrisleys kind of drama to it. You know what I mean?
There's plenty of room because the Chrisleys aren't going to be there for a while.
But what I did love about it is the back end of being on pit road and showing the drama on track and the things behind the scenes that you don't see on regular television, almost like what F1 has with the Drive to Survive. And I think that's what NASCAR's missing. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the same thing. IndyCar, all of these groups have got to be able to reach out to millennials, to Gen Y, all the new people that are coming in. And you can, you can thank Formula One for helping that out. Obviously, the products are all different, but, they all have their unique features. And you were just talking about Austin Dillon's show. What I thought was funny was, they're sitting there having dinner with with two couples. Dillon's like, well, how come we prepared all this food and it's the plate's sitting in front of you and you're eating tuna out of a bag. And he said, well, I just wanted to make sure the ambiance was there. And I mean, it's just different things. It didn't look scripted. It looked funny.
Yeah.
And, entertainment. Let's not kid ourselves. We're in a sport, whether it's open wheel, closed wheel, sprint cars, whatever. It's entertainment. Yeah. First and foremost. It's a sport, no doubt, but it's entertainment. And if you don't have the eyeballs, you don't have the cash.
That's
right.
Cash
is king, period.
Well, it was Tyler Reddick. I don't want to take the win away from him. Congratulations getting the win there. Tyler Reddick on top. Chase Elliott, again, a guy going to victory lane for the first time, beating out one of the best guys in road racing right now, Chase Elliott. And then behind him, Kyle Larson. Then a guy we've been talking about with the Trackhouse Racing is Ross Chastain and his teammate Daniel Suarez, all in the top 5 there. Great run for those guys, and I'm so impressed with what the guys over at Trackhouse Race got going on. And I'll be honest with you, I've been trying to get these guys on the show. So I've been working with Daniel Suarez.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to get Ross Chastain, but these guys at Trackhouse Racing really have something cool going on. And I want to make sure that we recognize that and talk about that. 6th place was Chris Buescher, Austin Cindric, another great road racer. Another one, Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, and then the veteran there rounding out the top 10 was Kevin Harvick. So congratulations to Kevin there, making it in the top 10.
Yeah.
It's not a win, but listen, he needs all the help he can get right now.
You know, I mean, it's the new guard. I mean, it's the old guard leaving and the new kids coming onto the block, but you got to hand it to Reddick. He played it really smart. He stayed up front all day. He managed his tires. He managed his equipment. Lap 15, he goes for the lead, and he takes it, and he keeps it. And listen, he beat Kyle Larson, you know, and Larson can road race. Larson can sprint car race. He can cup car race. There's not much Larson can't do. So for Reddick to take that win and it being his first, hats off to the kid.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So let's take a look at the points real quick. And for the points we have right now, it's Chase Elliott on top still with 624 points. Ryan Blaney is 3rd with 33 points back. Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, and William Byron round out the top 10 in regular season points right now. Next week, when you join us, we'll break down a little bit more of the playoff situation coming in because there's less and less room. I think there's only 3 spots now that are up for grabs because of all the people who have won so far this season. So that's going to get pretty interesting with the Cup guys. And they head to Atlanta, where Atlanta, hey, real quick, I want to talk about that because we have a friend here in Atlanta who's doing some work with us, and I want to give him some love.
Yeah, he's an emerging artist out of Atlanta with the Atlanta art scene. His name is Reed Benson. And I got to tell you, this guy is, I think, going to be one of the great abstract artists that we see coming out of Atlanta, and there've been a number of them. So if you want to find him, it's at Reed Abstract, REED Abstract on him. Go there, look at his products, look what he's painting. It's magnificent. I mean, and I'm lucky that I'm going to be collecting his art. I feel privileged. I've had some great art in the past, but this guy is coming out, and I think he's going to be one of the people that really emerge and stay on top.
Yeah, I want to give him some love there. That piece on the right is one of the ones I think you're working on getting. And
I'm getting that.
I think I'm gonna do a guitar with the guy, and because he paints guitars as well. And you know my collection of guitars, I have quite a few, so I'm gonna have him do one of those. We'll put it back here on the set and give him some love. It'll be awesome. But you can again find him where it was REED Abstract on Instagram. So check that out.
That's right. And we do have a couple of, just so everybody knows, we've got a couple of pieces coming that are going to be a little smaller, but they're going to go behind us so that you'll be able to see Reed's art. I just, I can't say enough. I'm aficionado, junior, just learning, but I know what I like, and this guy's work, I think, is brilliant.
So how's Reed getting it into the prison library there so he can get you one behind you?
One damn big cake, brother.
All right, we're going to take a break.
File.
Exactly. We're going to take a break, come back. We're going to get a little down and dirty with the guys over at the SRX series. So stick around for that. It's Race Day Nation. Welcome back. This is Race Day Nation alongside Michele Rahal. I'm Rob D'Amico. See us on our website at racedaynation.com. Also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Super Plus, Bonanza. I don't know what all.
Dude, you're like Prince, man. You're always evolving.
But it's at Rob D'Amico, ROBDAMICO. Michele, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me at Michele Rahal on Facebook, which is MICHELERAHAL. Not too many of us on there, so it should be an easy to find. Instagram at Rahal, Michele, and the number 9.
All right, we'll check that out. SRX, congratulations goes out to Ryan Newman, man. Congrats,
Yeah,
man. Great win on his part. What I thought was cool at the end, I got to see a little bit of the video. He got his 2 girls, his daughters, and brought them up, stood them on top of the car with him, in the victory celebration. I thought that was neat because the last time we remember seeing Ryan Newman is walking out of that hospital with his 2 daughters on each arm after that terrible crash at Daytona. So glad to see he's okay, back behind the wheel, doing his thing, loving racing. And you got to give props to Tony Stewart for bringing the guy on board into the series and being able to give him that opportunity to race. Great on him.
I'll just say this just because it needs to be said. Hats off to Ryan Newman. Here he is. He's showing his daughters is what a father should be. He's putting his daughters up on a pedestal and showing them how they should be treated by men. And I think that's a very important thing in today's society. Girls need a father. Boys need a father for damn sure. But girls in particular, they need to see what real men like, what real men should be like. And then they make better choices in life.
Real men, Ryan Newman sitting on top. Congratulations to him. Marco Andretti, second. Paul Tracy, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, Haley Deegan, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Matt, I think it's Matt Hirschman. Justin Marks, he may be a local guy. Yeah. Is he a dirt racer or is he a local guy?
He is. I believe that Hirschman is a local guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have Justin Marks and then Greg Biffle rounding out the top 10 in the series. And they put on a great fight. I think one of the comments on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, because you can also watch this on YouTube, and we always ask for comments. So please give us your comments. But one of the comments that were made were that it was like watching WWE in the roundy round world of racing, which is really kind of the way it is.
It is. I mean, that is the way it is. I will be our show onto a channel that I've had for the drive, and a lot of I've had 13 million views and 11,000 subscribers. I'm going to dedicate that channel to you and I, and from now on, that's what people are going to see. So I want to push people to that as well.
All right,
on
awesome.
YouTube.
All right. We're going to take a break. Coming up, we're going to talk about the IndyCar series at Mid-Ohio. Some great racing there, and teammates pissed off at each other. Oh, go figure. It's all coming up next.
Gladiator.
Right here on Race Day Nation. Welcome back. This is Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. You can find us at our website, racedaynation.com. Also, the show is presented by Rhino.co. That's Rhino.co, where you can find classified for cars, classic cars, exotic cars, race cars, anything cars, even the parts you can find all at Rhino.co. All right, we were talking about IndyCar. Coming up. Yeah, he's looking for, I'm actually looking for a Porsche as well, and I'll explain that coming up here.
What are you trying to get? I just want to know about what you want.
Yeah, all right, we'll get into that here in a second.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about IndyCar because IndyCar, we mentioned in the last segment about teammates being pissed off. A lot of action on track. Congratulations goes to Scott McLaughlin getting the win at Mid-Ohio. And if you're looking at the picture right now on the screen, that's his mom and dad in the background there. First time they've got to come here and check him out, and he gets the win. Got to be a special moment for that kid, and congratulations to him because well-deserved. I mean, it was a really tough race. A lot of guys beating and banging out there, and these are open wheels, and we were talking about Fender's series being able to bump some people. These guys were going at it, and most of them run the Andretti Autosport team. And I can't believe I on Tuesday morning when they have their drivers meeting, that is going to be an all-out brawl. I wish they had cameras in that room.
The drivers meeting with the Andretti group has probably already taken place. And I mean, the blank will hit the fan, guaranteed. The worst sin you can commit is take your teammate out. Well, this was a multiple intramural fight, and you just don't do that. Colton Herta, he understeered up into Colton is raced in Europe. Even Lando Norris, who drives for McLaren, sings his praises and says he belongs in F1. So Colton Herta is a great driver. But all of these guys on the same team, they really, really need to get the damn memo. And I can assure you that Andretti will give them that memo, because they're making Andretti look bad in his bid for Formula One. That doesn't do good any favors.
Yeah, and I hope, we haven't heard anything on that front in quite some time. So I think the longer it goes, man, I think the worse it's going to get. So I'm hoping something is happening where we can have some type of Andretti over in F1 and doing that team. That would be great.
I'm not holding my breath, brother, because
I know
Mercedes, Ferrari, Toto Wolff, and Binotto, and Horner. Those guys are trying. It's just the way it is. They try to keep us out. They try to keep Americans out. They didn't get to do it with Gene Haas because he had to deal with Ferrari, and thank God they did. But it can be worked out. It could be worked out if the FIA would get off of their ass and work at it, because this sport is growing exponentially in the United States, and an Andretti name on the scene just makes it even better.
No doubt. All right, so let's look at the top 10 finishing order and the results for the race at Mid-Ohio yesterday in the IndyCar series. I mentioned it. Scott McLaughlin getting the win. Alex Palou second. I thought that was going to be a great race between those guys, but Scott just had the lead. Will Power was there. Rinus VeeKay, Scott Dixon, Marcus Ericsson, Joseph Newgarden, Elio Castroneves, David Malukas is a rookie and a new guy in the scene. So kind of cool to see him in that top 10, and Simon Pagenaud rounding out your top 10 in the results. So points, Marcus Ericsson is on top with 321. Will Power second with 301. Joseph Newgarden, Alex Palou, Pato Award, which he wasn't even in the top 10, and I thought that kid was going to have an opportunity. Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, Alexander Rossi. And I got to tell you, with Alexander Rossi there, real quick, Simon Pagenaud and Colton Herta rounding out your top 10. But with Alexander Rossi, he was a little hot-headed yesterday. He was very aggressive, even with teammates. And I get Romain Grosjean sometimes is a real pain in the ass and a thorn in everyone's side over there. Yeah. And some people don't like him. He's very cocky. He's aggressive. He wrecked cars in F1. He's very, very aggressive. And some people don't like that. But it adds a nice little
element. He cost Alonso a world championship. He really did. All Alonso had to do was finish one particular race. He'd have been a 3-time world champion. And all of a sudden, here goes Grosjean flop of Alonso's Ferrari. Cost him a world championship. No big shakes,
he's
right?
He's very aggressive in IndyCar as well, and a lot of people don't like it, especially his teammates. And that's what we were getting at. Is this? He's got to learn his place first, right? Okay, it's great to be aggressive, but listen, you're not going to be in the ride much longer if you can keep continuing to do that. You just can't. You got to perform and get to the front, and hopefully you're fighting for those podium finishes and things like that. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little about F1. We're going to talk about the Andretti situation. We're going to talk a little bit about television and some of the different things and some of the series coming up. That's all coming up next right here on Race Day Nation. Welcome back to Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. Michele, welcome back to the show. Oh, I scared him. You can't do that to old guys, man. You can find us on our website, racedaynation.com, or you can go to our sponsor's website, rhino.co. Appreciate those guys coming on board. Show them some love because they do have their Racer Support Tour 2.0 going on right now, where they're giving out money to local teams, drivers, all that great tracks, even some great stuff there. So check them out online. Again, ryno.co. All right. In this segment,
what Porsche do you want? Quickly.
So for me, I'm looking for a mid 2000, 911. I don't want the convertible. I would like a Cayman.
You can get a good S. You can pump those up, and they have suspension pieces that you can replace. That's what I want.
For me, I just took just acquired a car club here in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta, I just took about an 80-member car club. I'm pretty excited about it because we're going to do some special things. You'll see some news come out on some of the websites for us, Race Day Nation. I also have cooksandcars.com, which is a cool one for me. And then with this, I'll mention the name when we get everything situated and when we start accepting some new members. But if you're in the Atlanta area and have an exotic car, a classic car, things like that, I'd love for you to be a part of the car club. Stick around. It's Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico. That's Michele Rahal. Welcome back to Race Day Nation. I'm Rob D'Amico. The show is presented by Rhino.co. Check them out online. They have their Racer Support Tour 2.0. And they also have the classified section with the cars, race cars, classic cars, exotic cars, parts, all that great stuff in one spot, Rhino.co. You can check us out on RaceDayNation.com. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. And coming up this week, right here in my backyard, Atlanta, got the Cup guys coming to that new track, the higher banks, faster running around that place. So pretty excited for the race. It's they put on a good show earlier in the year, and they're coming back for a second race, which is pretty cool for Atlanta because they haven't had that. Hopefully the crowd shows up. My concern is it's been hot as hell here, and I'm not sure they're going to show up in this heat, but we'll have to see how that plays out with the new track and the excitement behind that. So that'll be that's my concern here is that, yes, it's a new track. Yes, it put on a great race earlier, but it's hot as hell right now here in Atlanta.
It's really ridiculously hot. It is down in Florida. Trust me. It is Africa hot right here.
Yeah, so, it's brutal. There's no doubt about that.
That's why they make air conditioning, so screw it all. You know.
Well, not in those race cars. So
no, they don't. Cool suits, man.
And not in those stands either. It gets hot.
That's the worst part is the stand.
Yeah. All right. I want to make mention about another guy in Atlanta here, one of our artist friends here. And we gave him a little love on the show earlier. I wanted to do it again because, listen, he's a great guy. He's doing some pieces for us. And, I appreciate that.
Yeah. His name is Reed Benson. You can find him on Instagram at Reed Abstract, REED Abstract. And I encourage you to take a look at this guy's art. He has hundreds of pieces. He's an emerging artist, and this guy is going to be, I think, one of the greats. I really do.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up the show here. Michele, another great show in the books. And don't forget, you can find us streaming on television as well through Zumo, Plex, Local Now, TCL, all those great channels with Racing America. So you can check that out, racingamerica.com. Thank you to those guys as well. But don't forget, you can find us all our information at racedaynation.com. For Michele Rahal, I'm Rob D'Amico. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching.
See ya.